I've always found it difficult to make friends. Well, making friends is maybe the wrong word, but like keeping friends, I suppose, after the period when like the friendship is no longer worth holding on to. I find making friends is relatively easy actually. You just get to a place and you make a bunch of friends that you can hang out with while you're there. But once that moment's over, so's the friendship sometimes. So I'm not saying that I have like no friends. All I'm saying is that it's a bit more difficult to have friends these days, especially for like my age group. But because of that, I started doing a couple of things, like going to these strangers meetups.
No, it's already.
Okay.
You just have to hold it on me.
Okay.
Jeremiah was a good brother. He was a good
So some of you guys might be wondering what the hell I'm talking about when I say strangers picnics. Strangers picnics are these events thrown by a bunch of people that just want to get a couple of guys together and play some games. So usually there's like board games and card games, sometimes people just chill around and talk. And yeah, it's a great way to meet people. And honestly, it's not something I've seen a lot online, and I'm really glad they started doing it. So there's currently 2 picnics that I'm attending on a regular enough basis. The one is Alt Picnic, thrown by CPT Alt, and the second one is called Strangers Picnics. This one was the precursor to everything else that existed in Cape Town. I know that there's a couple more popping up now and again, but this was the original one. And I actually tracked down the person that created the first one and interviewed them.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi. Hello, I'm Amira Hassan, also known as MollyTarts.
Okay, so I'm doing a video on like why it's so maybe difficult to make friends, or why it's not exactly easy, especially for people like in our age group from about like 20 to 30. You've hosted these strangers picnics. What is the inspiration for these?
Honestly, a lack of friends. I recently moved to Cape Town and I had no friends. I mean, once you're in your job, you're in your routine, it's difficult. You like reach a plateau and you can't make friends. You're not meeting people in these environments that you're in. So I thought it was an opportunity to go to TikTok and search for strangers online that were into the same things I was and things like that. So we had the first picnic with purpose of finding friends for myself, but it honestly bloomed into something so beautiful, into letting strangers connect with others.
Okay, and why do you think it's maybe a little bit difficult for like your generation, I suppose, to make friends?
I guess especially after COVID, everybody gave up on making friends. I guess we stopped talking to strangers. We stopped talking to the people next to us on public transport, on aeroplanes, on buses. When we go to the shops, we keep to ourselves. We're not as friendly as we were out to be, I guess. And even if you're introverted or extroverted, I think after COVID, we all just like drew into ourselves and didn't make that effort as much anymore. And after a while you get used to it, you know, you get used to being lonely and you think that's normal. But we are here to connect, we are here to bond, people need people, and we're here to make that happen.
Yeah, and like what do you have to say to people that are like struggling to make friends? Do you have like any
I guess talk to strangers, talk to those people around you, whether you go to a class, whether you go to work, make an effort or not even make an effort, say yes. So if somebody asks you, would you like to do something, just say yes, go out for it, whether it's a good experience or bad experience, make a move. I feel like we overthink it a lot, and the best decision is just to say yes and go for it. You know, I mean, we're here for very, very little time. We might as well make a good experience out of life.
So from these picnics, I made a couple of friends, and I actually hosted my own event. Just a bunch of people going around to this place in Cape Town called Dappat, and yeah, it's a really nice beach with a fucking hole in the mountain, that you, like a sea cave that you can just sort of explore when it's low tide. And yeah, it was pretty great. This is where my collab with Rada comes in, that I announced on my socials. If you don't follow me on my socials, you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, and that is fine. Hey, this is fucking great. Can't believe so many people showed up, but like, I'm at this cave, right? Like, okay, there's the focusing. Like, this cave is amazing. There's a little waterfall. It's surprising, like, a lot of places like tell you about this thing, and it's so great. Anyway, I want to go back and probably interview more people, and then see how that goes. Thanks, guys.
What do you think is like the most important thing about making friends, especially like in this age that we are now, this say 20 to 30 age group?
So I found that it's more difficult to make close friends or long-lasting friendships, especially in this age, or at this age, around between 25 and going on to your 30s.
Why do you think it's maybe a little bit difficult for some people, or do you find it difficult yourself?
It's not that I find it difficult. Well, compared to how I was like when I was younger, I guess I could make more friends more easily because people were more, well, I come from Durban, and then people in Durban are more like receptive to like interaction, and then I found like in Cape Town, I guess people aren't as much, but they are, but like, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a
so
new...
it's more of like a, if you want to do it, you can. If you can't, it's more like, I guess it all has to do with personality. You kind of have to have an open view of the world and see, just like not be sort of in a boxed situation where like if you're an outgoing person, it's more easier to make friends. If you're an indoorsy person like I am, but it's more of like an effort, I guess. But I think it's all up to you, because making friends and enjoying new experiences are all part of life.
So that's the thing, finding friends in my age group can be a bit difficult, because I'm already going to be 35 in like 7 months. But I've been meeting a lot of people, so the networking event, the Strangers Picnic, helped a lot. But because Cape Town is very cliquish, what really helped me was breaking into one of the cliques. So I really had to go outside of my comfort zone, and I started taking SBK classes, so salsa, bachata, and kizomba. And I'm not a natural dancer. Like, I've done a bit of Latin American and ballroom dancing when I was in Durban, but I've never tried salsa, bachata, or kizomba until I got to Cape Town. So I started attending the classes like 5 months ago, and then started going to the socials, and I was hitting it really hard just to practice and get my practicing up. So I would go on Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night for a month straight, so every single night on the weekends for a month straight, and that really helped me meet people. And then you meet people who are also new, and just because I know that little bit more, they look at you like you're some kind of dancing god or something.
Yeah.
So then that way you just make friends and stuff.
And like, so here's the thing. Once you've made the friend, like what do you think is the most important part about like necessarily having friends?
You need to have friends who have, one, activities that you can do in common, but also it's the values and the way you think. So even though my friend he's very different to me in terms of values. Like, we are almost totally opposites in personality and like lifestyle. Like, I'm an analyst, I have a desk job. He's a salsa dancer and teacher and he's into sound engineering. But we have a common way of thinking. So that's one important thing to have. If you think along the same lines, if you have hobbies in common and if you have similar values, that's the most important few things I would say to maintaining and having a strong friendship.
Why do you think it's so important that people actually make friends? Or
Yeah, I think it is quite important to make long friendships, because you never know where you might need someone to assist you, someone there to be emotionally there for you, or even physically to assist you with moving or whatever. So to isolate yourself, it could be the biggest mistake you would ever make in your life. Yeah, so I stand by it. At least trying to put yourself out there once a month. If you are someone that struggles to talk to people, it is scary, I know, but you might find someone that might be the most important person in your life. So yeah.